When German female POWs arrived in the United States near the end of World War II, they expected harsh treatment, starvation rations, and constant punishment. Instead, they walked into something they never imagined: a cheerful mess hall, the smell of fresh biscuits, and American cooks preparing breakfast as if they were serving their own troops. They whispered among themselves, confused and cautious. Some of them didn't even know what they were looking at. Others wondered if it was a trick or some kind of test. Then came the moment that would become a story many of them repeated for the rest of their lives. Stay until the end to hear the moment when German POW women realized American food was nothing like the horror stories they'd been told. What began with suspicion and embarrassment turned into one of the most surprising cultural shocks of their entire captivity. They were tired, hungry, and far from home. A group of young German POW women captured in North Africa and shipped to the United States stood in a camp dining hall on a cold morning. They didn't know what to expect. The Americans had just finished breakfast, and the trays still smelled of something warm and heavy. One of the women quietly approached a guard and asked a hesitant question. "Can we have leftovers?" The guard blinked, glanced at the cooks and grinned. "Sure, you'll like this." Moments later, the women were staring down at a plate of something that made no sense to them at all. Soft, doughy biscuits drowned in a white, pepper-speckled sauce. They whispered, "Is this sweet? Is it salty? Is it edible?" This is the real story of the American breakfast that confused German POW women, and the surprising reaction once they finally tasted it. German women in American camps. Though most POWs were men, around 3,000 to 6,000 German women, primarily from auxiliary units like communications, nursing, clerical positions and support detachments, were also captured. Many were transported to America for internment, where conditions were far safer than wartime Europe. They came from a continent suffering food shortages, rationing and late-war malnutrition. Arriving in the US, a land of full plates and government surplus, felt surreal. Still, American food was completely foreign to them. They expected simple soup or bread. Instead, they walked into a US Army dining hall. First contact with American breakfast. The standard American breakfast in POW camps often included scrambled eggs, bacon, oatmeal, coffee, and, on good days, biscuits with sausage gravy. To German POW women who grew up with rye bread, butter, and occasional cold cuts, the American breakfast looked strange and overly heavy. They often declined food out of uncertainty, not knowing how long supplies would last or what exactly they were being offered. But hunger eventually pushed them to ask, "Are there leftovers?" The first plate of biscuits and gravy. When they received their portions, confusion set in immediately. A German POW recalled later in life, "White sauce poured over bread? We had never seen such a thing. We thought it was a mistake." The white sauce and sausage gravy looked like nothing in European home cooking. They poked it, they smelled it. Some whispered that it resembled paste or diluted cream. One woman reportedly asked a guard, "Is this sweet? Is it for dessert?" He laughed. "No, ma'am, that's breakfast." The first bites were cautious, then the reactions changed. Eyes widened, forks grabbed larger portions, and within minutes, plates were empty. The camp cooks still remembered them asking shyly, "Excuse us, could we have a little more?" Why biscuits and gravy surprised them. The dish was unfamiliar, but it worked. Warm, filling and high-calorie, perfect for tired POWs, comfort food that reminded Americans of home. Rich sausage flavour, unexpected by European palates. Soft biscuits unlike German crusty bread. German POW women would later describe it as strange but comforting. The best meal in camp. A mystery that tasted better than it looked. Food as an unexpected form of kindness. Despite the war, POW treatment in America was regulated and comparatively humane. For many German prisoners, especially women, the food became one of the most memorable aspects of captivity. They had braced for hostility. Instead, they encountered cooks who offered extra helpings and guards who joked with them over breakfast. Biscuits with gravy became symbolic, a dish they initially feared, then appreciated, and later remembered fondly as an unexpected comfort in a time of uncertainty. Stories like this remind us that history isn't just battles, leaders and dates. It's also tiny interactions, small decisions that show character and compassion. The world often forgets that people on both sides of a conflict had fears, hunger and hopes. And sometimes all it took was a plate of warm food to remind everyone involved that there was more to life than the uniforms they wore. This is a true World War II story, because sometimes history is full of moments that show how powerful empathy can be, even in the darkest times. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more true World War II stories.